You don't need to feel ready. On acting before confidence arrives. This morning, I want to talk to you about something most of us quietly struggle with. The feeling that we're not yet ready. Not ready to start the project, not ready to have the hard conversation, not ready to go after what we actually want. We tell ourselves, when I feel more confident, I'll begin, when the timing is better, when I know enough, when I'm more prepared. But here's what I've come to understand. That feeling of readiness, it almost never arrives before you start. It arrives because you started. The readiness myth. Think about the first time you did something meaningful in your life. Your first day at a new job, a difficult conversation you finally had, a creative project you brought into the world, learning to drive and becoming a parent. Were you ready? Truly ready? Probably not. You were nervous and unsure you had what it took. Part of you wanted to wait just a little longer. And yet you did it. You found your footing as you went. That is how almost every important thing in life works. We don't rise to the level of our preparation. We rise to the level of our willingness to step forward before we feel certain. Confidence isn't a feeling you manufacture in advance. It's a residue, what's left behind by action. You build it by doing the thing, even imperfectly, and by discovering that you survived it. We have it backward. We think, I'll act when I feel confident, but the real sequence is, I'll act, and confidence will follow. What waiting really costs. There's a quiet cost to waiting until you feel ready. It's not dramatic. It doesn't announce itself. It just accumulates slowly, like dust on something you meant to use. Every day we wait, the idea of starting grows heavier. The thing we haven't done becomes harder to face. And our sense of who we are, what we're capable of, quietly shrinks to fit the smaller life we're living. I'm not saying this to be harsh. I'm saying it because I think you already feel it. That low hum of something unbegun, something waiting. The irony is that waiting is meant to feel safe, yet it often produces its own kind of anxiety, the anxiety of unlived potential. Because deep down, part of you knows. The version of you who starts, even imperfectly, is the one who gets somewhere. What is one thing I have been waiting for until I feel ready? You don't need to answer out loud. Just let it sit with you. The first step doesn't need to be big. Here's something that might help. We often imagine that acting before we feel ready is a great leap, a dramatic, all-in moment of courage. But that's not how it usually works. That image can make starting feel more frightening than it needs to be. The truth is, the first step can be small, almost embarrassingly so. You don't have to launch the business today. You need to write down one idea. You don't have to have the whole conversation. You need to send a message asking if you can talk. You don't have to have it all figured out. You need to open the document and write one imperfect sentence. Small actions create something very important. Evidence. Evidence that you are the kind of person who moves, who begins, and who shows up for your own life. And that evidence, even when it's quiet, even when no one else sees it, begins to shift something inside you. Confidence isn't about believing you'll succeed before you try. It's about believing you can handle whatever happens when you do. And that belief only comes from having handled things before, from having started, stumbled, and continued anyway. What is the smallest possible first step I could take today? Not the perfect step, just a real one. Carrying this into your day. As you begin your morning, I want to leave you with this. Readiness is not a gate you pass through before your life begins. It grows within the act of living, within the attempts, the adjustments, the messy, imperfect forward motion. You are allowed to begin before you feel ready. In fact, that is often the only way to start at all. The version of you who starts today uncertain, a little nervous, not fully prepared is not lesser. That person is brave. That person is real. That person is already someone worth becoming. So today, if there is something you have been waiting to start, let this be permission. Not permission from me, permission from yourself. You don't need to feel ready. You need to begin. Morning affirmation. I do not wait for confidence to find me. I build it with every step I take. Today's intention. Take one small action today toward the thing you've been postponing. It doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to be big. It just needs to be real.